Okay, so we have a situation outside. Okay, that's the situation outside. This entire thing fell apart. So I'm trying to find a way to actually dismantle this because there was a huge storm and the storm messed it up. Yeah, so that's where. Three things that help me grow as a creative. Yeah, so we were talking about the three things that help me grow as a creative. I'll get to that. Let me just put a battery for this guy. It's 6 in the morning. Crazy part is it's like 4 degrees Celsius. Yeah, we're good to go. Probably start on the big guy. The first thing that helped me grow as a creative has been my curiosity. My curiosity made me question a lot of things as a child. I was always curious about how life works, how things work. When I see a bird fly, I wonder how it would be to experience that. Even if it's just a little toy, I would closely look at it and wonder how it was created. Curiosity got me to a lot of trouble as well. It's like children, when they play with fire, they don't know it hurts. I've got burned myself quite a few times. That's the first thing, right? I'll come back to being burned. Because a lot of my friends and family ask me, why did I leave India? And I would blame it on my curiosity. If I hadn't have had that, I don't think I would have come this far as a creative person and learned a lot of things like cameras, editing, sound. Even the reason I left India was because I was curious. I wanted to know how sound design was done. I thought it'll help me be a better editor. In general, I just wanted to know what's outside the borders of a state or a country. Or I don't think I would go to Mars. I'm not that curious, but I think just on planet Earth, there's enough cool things to see. Yeah. So the storm happened. വലിയ കൊടുങ്കാറ്റും മഴയായിരുന്നു. ഇത് പറന്ന് അപ്പുറത്തേക്ക് പോയി, മതിലിൻ്റെ അപ്പുറത്തേക്ക്. Every house that I lived in, I was always curious on how the food was made, why the people are the way they are. My curiosity definitely fueled me to even leave India. Teddy's wondering what's happening. Because I've traveled pretty much all across India. I used to do a lot of tourism films, right? So I did Kerala tourism. Then I did Rajasthan tourism. I also did Karnataka tourism. I traveled all across India and shot this project for a brand called Proyog. So I had seen a lot of the country. And then I was like, okay, what's beyond the country now? So in general, my curiosity has taken me to places. And then the second thing that helped me grow as a creative was people. People. Like, we have good people, bad people. We have everyone in between. Some of you know that I actually stayed in so many different houses as a child. പല പല വീട്ടിൽ താമസിച്ച് പല കുടുംബങ്ങളാണല്ലോ, like families from all economic class, from the poorest to the middle to the rich. Every house is different. I used to always wonder, in movies they used to show like what a perfect family is. But then in every house that I lived in some houses, the father and daughter would be best friends. Or the next house will be like the mother and son, or the mother and daughter. Or some houses, all of them were like so close, they would always have every meal together. The next house, nobody in that family would talk to each other. So in that journey, I kind of realized there is no perfect family. It's kind of like this combination of different individuals put together by different genetical accidents. In families where there's less money, I saw more happiness and joy and simplicity and more value for things. The higher that I've lived in with families, not to say that they did not have happiness, they had their own joy, but there was just something special more in the bottom. I felt it was a lot more genuine and pure. It wasn't about expanding wealth. It was just about having the right amount of kanjim bayar for everyone, you know. I think Teddy agrees with me. So I had more fun in my aunt's house in Trivandrum, ജമാറ്റിൻ്റെ വീട്ടിലൊക്കെ അവിടെ മഴ പെയ്യുമ്പോൾ മൊത്തം വെള്ളം കയറും. എന്നിട്ട് ഈ അടുത്തുള്ള വീട്ടുകാരൊക്കെ പൈസയൊക്കെ വന്ന് they had raised their ground. മുറ്റത്തെ മണ്ണൊക്കെ ഇട്ട് they had raised the എന്താ പറയുക കല്ലും മണ്ണൊക്കെ ഇട്ടിട്ട് they raised the ground, right? Most of the houses in Trivandrum, പട്ടംപ്ലാമൂട് മറ്റേ പാലത്തിൻ്റെ സൈഡിൽ കൂടെ ഉള്ള വഴിയാണ്. And her house, because she never had enough money, was never raised. So because all the houses raised their ground, slope ഒക്കെ ആയിട്ട്, to get into the gate, full slope ആയിരിക്കും. When it would rain, all that water would get into her house. And even to go to a house, you have to take one step down and go into the house, right? So it would always get flooded. And I would be sitting on the bed. Bed എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു കട്ടിലും പായ പോലത്തെ ഒരു ബെഡ്. So, and the water will be like till the brim of the bed. And then I paper plane I used to float it inside the house while my aunt, Jamanti, Rani Chechi, Kocharan Chechi would be taking the water out of the house with a bucket. The roof would be leaking, and I would always ask either, what's the point of taking the water out of the house when there's water just coming in, gushing in, right? But Jamanti always had a smile and laugh at my silly questions because I didn't really understand the point to that. But she would always laugh and say, we don't want the water to hit the ceiling. She taught me a lot in my life. I lived with her for a long time. I still talk to her often. I love her energy. So anyway, I've seen a lot of good people and bad people in my life. And I've learned from both. Obviously, the good have taught me what to be, and the bad have taught me what not to be. So in that context, I feel like the good was good and the bad was also good. All those different people, all those different relationships in different houses over those 50 plus houses that I lived through till the age of 16, I feel like all that fueled into my creativity, to my growth in terms of seeing different relationships, different perspectives, how people think and see and feel in different houses, in different situations, with different levels of income, different levels of happiness and problems. Even every food in every house was different. The texture was different. The smell was different. The colors were different. It's like mate parvele wash basin ille. ഞാൻ അങ്ങനത്തെ വീട്ടിലാണ് കുറേ വളർന്നത് ആക്ച്വലി. ഒരിക്കലും കഴിയാത്തൊരു വാഷ് ബേസിൻ ഉണ്ടാവും, ആർക്കും വേണ്ടാത്ത. Sometimes I did feel like that wash basin in my own life. I felt like I was this child that was moving around that nobody wanted. But at the same time, everybody wanted me to be in their house, and they gave me so much love, and they had so much empathy and sympathy for a child who lost a mother. Especially all the mothers and sisters and all. So I wouldn't change anything.
Moral of the story is, when you meet good people, it's a good thing. And when you meet bad people, that's also a good thing.
The third thing. The third thing that taught me a lot to my creative growth has been pain. Yeah, Vedana. What I mean is basically,
I feel pain is such an underrated thing. It's an underrated subject because pain brings you to this discomfort where you get a different perspective about things. Because if you're always happy, you don't know what it's like on the other end. It's like music. Music is all about tension and release. Imagine tension is pain and release is happiness. Life is never singular. It's duality and it's infinite. Day or night, black or white, the spectrum of shade. So whenever I've been uncomfortable, physically or mentally, it has helped me think. I have seen a lot of friends and family and people I don't know go through pain. We see that even on the streets. Someone on the street who's sleeping in the cold and the rain, you can see that they have gone through pain. You can feel that. I don't know if all of you can feel that, but at least I do feel that. It is a curse and a blessing.
If you're always happy and you don't go through any kind of pain, I feel like you miss that perspective and you forget to value things. At the same time, if you always go through pain and you never get a glimpse of happiness, you would never really understand what happiness feels like. It's like this blessing of a discomfort to understand things from the other side. The dots and the beats that connect to how that pain reached me internally with my own imagination or my own situation, that I was willingly or unwillingly that I brought myself into that, consciously or unconsciously that I brought myself to that. Internal pain is a lot in my control, how I can be aware of it, how I can think about it and choose how to handle that. To understand pain And to kind of reduce the pain, it takes time. I feel like time has been the biggest factor. But on the other hand, when I think about pain, the external pain, outside of my internal self, where I've seen it in other people, in my family or friends or people I don't know, or on the streets, we've seen people go through pain. It's there in society. I feel like that also has helped me think in a different way. Life is not all like, what do you call it, sugar and oranges and apples and all of that. It's both. It's life and death. And the perception of how we take that in to growth or downfall is a lot of it in our hands. They say mindset and all these different things, I guess. Curiosity, the internal factor, people, the external factor, and pain, which has been an internal and external factor. So
taking the first one, if you feel like you're not a curious person and you're not curious at all, I don't believe that. I think everybody has certain amount of curiosity. Let's say if you feel like you don't have curiosity at all, I would say the best way to start is to think about, to try to develop curiosity. Try to be curious about why you're not curious. Try to understand that. So build curiosity on trying to understand, if you believe that you're not a curious person. But if you have curiosity, try to understand what you're curious about. That will guide you on what you want to do. It might be something new altogether. They say follow the heart, follow the gut, see where that curiosity really lies. You got one life to figure what you want to do. And in that one life, if you can figure what you're curious about, man, it's a big blessing. It took a long time for me. I'm still curious and figuring out what I want to do. I know people who have done so many different things in their life because the curiosity on things can also change every 5 years, 10 years. You're not the same person 10 years back or 20 years back. You're similar, but you're always evolving. And a main factor to all of that is what kind of curiosity you hold and what you do with it. And second, people, again, I said, having good people and bad people. I don't believe you should only have good people around you. I think you need a certain amount of bad people to really understand the dynamics of life. Bad people are also a blessing because you learn a lot. What people teach you, good people teach you what to be, and bad people teach you what not to be. So there's always a takeaway. And finally, coming to pain, if you're going through some kind of pain right now, understand that there is another side to it. As much as it's painful, there's so much to learn from that. Like when you go through so much pain, you can really sit down and think about it, and you'll value things that are not painful. You'll value things that make you happy. And pain is never going to stick with you throughout. There's nobody who lives only in pain. You might have a lot of pain for a certain amount of period, but there are moments where you have smiled and laughed. Try to remember that. And that'll have a lot of value, and you would want to transcend back to that time, because pain is such a wonderful, I call it discomfort to strength, because it will develop resilience and understanding and perspective. I think it's a great life lesson to go through some kind of pain. You don't force yourself through pain, but whenever pain comes through, if you feel that, try to understand that, why you're going through that, and understand the dynamics of it. If you feel like crying, it's absolutely fine to cry. They say, the saying in society, boys, you're a boy, you shouldn't cry. Like, you don't have to suppress it. Even if you want to go sit down in the room and cry it out, it's fine. But absorb the pain, understand from it, learn from it, grow from it. And like music, like tension and release, the pain will release and you will find joy. Remember that. And if it's difficult for you to find that, then don't give up on your curiosity, don't give up on people, and don't give up on happiness, because all of that is a cycle. Embrace it, live through it, learn from it. So that's all I have to say. Riding this bike. I haven't been able to put up a video this week because I had another shoot. So I was like, hey, let me talk about this while I ride and just put it up.
What I would like to know from all of you listening is, for your life would be completely different from mine, and you would have learned so many other things that I would have not had the opportunity to learn. So I have the same question for you from me and Teddy. We have a question. Tell us 3 different words that help you grow creatively. I like making people think. I think it's a great thinking exercise. and put it on the comments so I can read it and understand where you come from and learn something from that. I love when you guys comment and discuss and chat about each other's lives, keeping that doorway open to share life journey. So yeah, do that. I would love to see that. I'm going to get back to disbanding this storm situation that happened in my backyard. And this happened on the day of a shoot in the morning, and it was halfway across that wall on top of another car, and this is like 40 feet wide, so it's pretty long, and I single-handedly had to put it across this wall. That was like the worst situation that I was in this week, but I'm glad that happened because I like fixing things, but this is broken, so I guess right now I'm going to dismantle it. Yo, ചെടി ചട്ടിയൊക്കെ താഴെ പോയി. ചെടി, you lost. Wow.
As an exercise, I want you to think about this. What are the 3 things that have helped you grow creatively? And put them as 3 different words in the comments. I feel like all of us have a lot to learn from each other, and these kind of thinking exercises is great to have in our community. It was in the back of my head, and I was wondering what are the 3 things that helped me grow. There's so many other things that has helped me grow creatively. If there is something else that's in your mind, please share it, because I love these kind of discussions, discussing ideas about life and how we live life in a very broad sense. We don't have to always discuss about specific people or events. We can also talk about generic ideas associated to growth. Let it be creative growth, personal growth, emotional growth is something that I do want to talk about. I feel I'm exploring all these thoughts, and it is so cool to be able to have that gateway open with all of you watching right now, whoever is watching right now, and connect, right? I started replying to a lot of you by mail. Yeah, I was really caught up with too much work this week, so I couldn't get on YouTube. But hey, I like making people think. That's one of my favorite things to do, to make people think. I think most of the directors that I worked with, let it be movies or ad films or music videos, whatever, one thing that I would do with directors as a DP is I loved making them think. So I would always throw questions about their stories. Like I would keep the pan hot by asking questions and keeping the temperature. You know, when you cook, you put it in low heat, so it's like warm. It's not getting burnt. It's just cooking softly and slowly. So I would always ask questions to my director about the characters, the story, the plot line, and make them think. Because I'm also thinking, and I like thinking. You know, collaboration in art, a lot of it is about thinking together. So in the future, let's all bounce together with thoughts. That's something that I want to do with this community. അപ്പം പറഞ്ഞോലെ ആലോചിക്കുക, ചിന്തിച്ചിട്ട് പറ എന്താണ് 3 കാര്യങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിൽ വരുന്ന 3 വാക്കുകൾ, അതായത് ക്രിയേറ്റീവ് ഗ്രോത്തിന് വേണ്ടി.
So tell me in the comments the 3 different words that helped you grow creatively. I would like to know from your life. It might be completely different words from mine because my life is different, right? So maybe there's so much there for us to learn from each other. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'll catch you in the next one.